First, I want to get the elephant in the room out of the way. Yes, I am wearing a shirt that says I heart BJ's, but that is the Blue Jays baseball team, which my dear friend Callie did me the wonderful favor of getting me this shirt when she used to work for the wonderful establishment of the Sky Dome. Yes, the Sky Dome, not the Rogers Center. It will forever be the Sky Dome, and that's what I call it. And I also realized that I totally could have worn this shirt for last week's video when I was talking about wanting to wear something to represent for Toronto, but I couldn't find something to wear to represent for Toronto. But this shirt was actually in the laundry, and then this week I found this shirt, and yeah. Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Women's Wednesday. This week we're going to be talking about the Bachelorette hometowns episodes. We got to see Blake, Garrett, Colton, and Jason's hometowns. It was interesting, so let's get right into it. Garrett. So if you watched my last video that I did on the Bachelorette, it was actually on the premiere episode, and this was before I knew anything about this whole Instagram scandal. And in that video I was giving Garrett like quite high praise. Garrett with the minivan literally like pulled at every heartstring that I had. I really did like the minivan thing. I really was a sucker for that, and he just seemed like really nice and like bubbly and just nice. He just seemed like a nice guy. Going into this episode, he was my #1 pick, in that I think Becca's gonna pick him. Like, I wouldn't pick him per se, but I think Becca's gonna pick him. But then by the end of this episode, I wasn't sure anymore, so I don't know. The other thing about Garrett that I do not like is we keep talking about his marriage and his ex-wife, and he takes zero accountability.
Instead of doing like what my family wanted to do and be with them for the day, she would still like try to take me away from my family, and then it became like her way or she's upset. And that's when I got out, was when like our family values no longer aligned, and I couldn't see myself like raising a family with her anymore.
Do you think we align?
I do think that we align.
Like, zero accountability. I don't know if he is taking accountability, and maybe they're just not showing any of that because maybe she does pick him in the end, so they're trying to make him seem like a good guy. So maybe he did say, you know, yeah, I could have done this better, or yeah, I wasn't the best partner in this way, and maybe they're taking all of that stuff out in editing to make him seem like a better person and make her, like his ex-wife, seem like this villain so that he can have a better image. I don't know, but that's something I really do not like about him. Garrett's mom was a little bit intense.
I take my family very seriously.
His mother is like a mother bear. She protects her cubs.
This time he knows that it's no holds barred.
Not any more intense than I think anybody would be in this situation of this show. Like, this show is kind of crazy, and to have your kid be going on it, I think any parent would react the way his mom did. So I don't think it was anything like weird or like over the top. I just think she's being a protective mom, especially if everything that they're saying is true about this abusive ex-wife. Next we have Jason, who really grew on me in this episode, like exponentially. Like, I had Jason going home this week for sure. I thought the final three was going to be Colton, Blake, and Garrett, but after this episode I really like him. Like, I like him a little bit more than Garrett. I just think their relationship is moving at the most normal pace, and the relationship seems the most normal, but he's definitely like leaps and bounds behind the others, and I don't think she's gonna pick him in the end. But I think now is when they're finally like starting to like get their footing, and just seeing the way that his brother was like so supportive of him.
She's amazing. She's amazing. Like, what is there to say? Like, I totally see everything you could see in her, and I could see you two being a great pair.
It's a wild thing to comprehend, but like, I'm falling in love with her. And when I'm with her, I can't spend more time with her. And when I say goodbye to her, I can't wait to see her again. And when I go to bed, I'm thinking of her, and when I wake up, I'm thinking about her. And right now, as we're talking, as much as I appreciate this, I'm like, where is she upstairs? And I can't wait to see her.
So, have you told her all of this?
No.
Okay. And what are you waiting for? there's a finite number of moments you have to truly express how you're feeling, and you have to make sure you take advantage of that.
That's a good point.
It was so heartwarming when his brother gave him that little pep talk and was like, dude, like, this is what you gotta say how you feel. Because, you know, all these freaking heterosexual men, they're so macho and they're so, like, in their feelings. But really, they have no idea how to express themselves. They have no idea, like, how to say what they feel. Like, he said literally word for word to his brother exactly how he was feeling, and it sounded so genuine and so heartfelt. And then when he said the exact same thing to Becca, it sounded like he was thinking so much about it. It sounded like he was so in his head, and it did not sound genuine. It did not come off as loving. It just came off as like, I want to say this to you, but I don't want it. Like, it just came off as he was thinking about what he was saying.
When I'm with you, I can't stop smiling. And when I go to bed, I can't stop thinking about you. And all that does is tell me one thing. And it tells me that I'm so insanely, wildly in love with you.
You know, it came off as calculated, which I don't think it was. I think it was genuine, because when he said it to his brother, it sounded so genuine. But I think guys are just like, I don't understand the male species. I just don't understand them. Anyways, long story short, I think what I'm trying to say is I like Jason. Okay? So my vote actually is for Jason for Bachelor. I think he's more mature than Blake. Everybody keeps saying Blake for Bachelor, Blake for Bachelor. But Blake just seems like really young and really emotional. So we'll get to him in a second. Blake gives me a very, very young vibe. And the fact that he took her to his high school just makes me think that he peaked in high school and that he's still like missing those glory days. Okay, so many things happened to this guy in high school. His mom had an affair with his teacher when he was in high school. There was a school shooting, which he talked about in this episode when he was in high school. He was a jock in high school because he was like, there's still pictures of him up in the hallways there of like him on the football team or something. And he just seems so young. It just seems like there's not much more to Blake. I don't know. I think him and Becca are really cute together. But sometimes, like last week when he was getting real emotional about not seeing her and not being chosen for a one-on-one, and then when his mom was like talking about how crazy it is that he's saying that he's so in love with her and talking about how worried she was about him when he broke up with his last girlfriend, and like, I don't know, he makes me nervous.
That look in his eye that makes me think he has found the one.
A look of desperation. It's scary.
Can you tell the way I am with, like,
Absolutely. The body language between you two, it really does.
Look at his body language. He's like staring through his brow. He looks like he's gonna kill someone.
If she doesn't pick you, you're gonna get crushed. And how do you deal with that? I mean, have you thought that far down the road?
So obviously, the fact that I'm falling so hard for her, I mean, it's scary. Because I did just have my heart ripped out of my chest not long ago.
Look at the way
It
he
was
just
the
said that.
worst. I mean,
He's
I've never
scaring
known her.
the shit out of me. I think he would be like really clingy, really emotional, really possessive, really like, I don't know. Those are just the Blake vibes that I get. I don't know. Jason is my favorite, you guys, now. He really is. Gosh. Okay. Then we have Mr. Colton Underwood. All of these men look like children to me. Like literal children. The only men that look like men is honestly Garrett and Jason. And Garrett, I feel like outside of the romantic department, I feel like he is a man. Like in terms of like family life and work life, I feel like Garrett is very mature. But when it comes to being in a relationship, he seems a little immature. Like, even just the way that he speaks, like, he's always smiling. He's like, yeah, so, I just know that, like, we're gonna be, like, together for a long time, and when I look at you, I just think of you as the woman who could be my wife.
But I don't want you to change, like, who you are, feel like go in there, like, nervous or, like, feel like you have to impress him in any way. Just be, like, the
I'll
same
be
Becca
me.
that I know, and, yeah, you'll fit right in. It'll be good.
Okay.
Yeah. It's just so childlike to me, Garrett. And the same thing with Blake. Just, he has just a very young face. The way that he's very quick to react and, like, not process things and, like, not think before he speaks or think before he acts. He just seems very youthful, and, like, he's 28 years old. And with my personal experience, guys these days under 30 are, like, immature and they're not ready to settle down. I don't think I'll be ready to settle down until I'm 30. I don't know. Colton is a child. He's a virgin. He said that him and his dad have, like, a coach player relationship, and totally his dad was, like, very overbearing, very aggressive, and you just saw Colton, like, shell up when he was talking to his dad.
Can we go have a talk?
Yep, let's go. My dad and I have a coach-player type relationship, but I'm lucky, I'm fortunate.
I just want to make sure that your foundation is built on honesty and trust and openness.
You know, going into this, like, obviously with Tia, that was going to be something that was going to be brought up at some point, right?
So where is that at?
I addressed it like a man.
I'm proud of you. I mean, for being that honest and addressing that.
Yeah.
What conversation has she had with you about Ari?
People keep saying that they don't believe that he's a virgin and that they think he's very confident and very striking and, like, has swag and, like, looks like he can get any girl that he wants. I disagree 1000%. Every time he smiles, I see a 6-year-old boy. Like, he's not attractive to me whatsoever. The way he moves, the way he holds people's hands. Recently on YouTube, I found an interview that he did with Access Hollywood when he was dating Allie Raceman, and he used to have a lisp. He got rid of it because I haven't heard it on The Bachelorette, but I heard it in this interview. He used to have a really strong lisp, which is another thing that just makes him seem so juvenile. I feel like I'm rambling, but I don't like Colton. He's a little itty bitty boy. He has a lot of growing to do. He needs to get laid, and then he can think about getting married to someone. Like, I don't know. He came on the show for fame. We all know he came on the show for fame. He came on the show to promote his nonprofit. He came on the show to better his career because he's not playing football anymore. And when you're a football player, you make a lot of money. And when you're not a football player anymore, you have to do something in the entertainment industry to prolong your career. So that's what he's doing. That's why he's here, guys. We all know it. One thing I did really enjoy about Colton's date was when they did go to help the kids. That little girl was so freaking cute.
Nice to meet you.
You guys drawing? Yeah. And then I have that for you, Kaylee.
It's about as tall as me.
Yeah.
I love this. I will use you.
Good.
These kids motivate me more than they'll ever know.
I can be a goat.
And today just helped to show me more sides of him and get more clarity of who he is on a daily basis and how big his heart really is.
Oh, look at those.
They're actually really good.
She was my favorite part of their entire, like, I would have just rather have watched a show with her. Like, she was so confident and, like, friendly and just adorable, and she was just so happy to, like, be hanging out with them, and she was just so I loved her so much, like, so much. I can't even. The rose ceremony, I was actually shocked when she called Jason's name. I was like, what?
Jason? Jason, you accept this rose?
I really felt like Garrett and Blake this whole time, like Garrett and Blake, and I thought it was going to be Garrett, Blake, and Colton. But then when it was down to Garrett and Colton, I was like, what? I am actually really happy that she chose Jason, because Jason is super, super, super growing on me. I like him a lot, and I wouldn't be mad if he was in the final two, because I have issues with Garrett. I have issues with Blake. But I do see the most chemistry with those two. So I think they're going to be the final two. But I would not be disappointed if Jason was in the final two, because I think their relationship is the most genuine and I don't see any red flags with Jason whatsoever. Yeah, so that's about it for what I have to cover for this episode. It was pretty straightforward. I'm okay with it. A lot of people said it was boring, but I thought it was like straightforward. Like, what more do you want from a hometown date? Like, these guys they don't come from like fucked up families. Like, all of their parents are still together, except for Blake. They live pretty normal suburban lives. They're like, you know, calm, normal, average white guys. I don't know what more you could want. So I was pretty pleased with it. I liked it. I like that it's more normal. I like that it's more focusing on the romance, and I'm excited for the finale. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to give it a thumbs up if you did enjoy it. Subscribe if you want to see more videos like this from me, and hit the bell notification if you actually want to be notified and know when I upload. And I will see you guys all in my next video. Bye. I just think their relation. Excuse me. Jack, money, Benny. Hey. And she got me in my feelings. Hey. Like, literally, I'm filming this on my birthday. Today's my birthday. I took this off before I started filming, but it's my little happy birthday pin. I don't know. I don't want to assume, but I get a certain vibe from him. And I wouldn't be surprised if it came out in a few years that there was a reason he was a virgin. That's just my interpretation.
Hey,